Another successful season in the books for Denis Karo. Another treble won in my career, but this time it's the French version. Oui, j'ai pour les Français. I don't even know what the hell I just said, which is one of the many reasons why I will be leaving PSG. And as you can see, Karo's trophy cabinet is getting even more full by the season. But one thing that's missing is that La Liga trophy. So therefore, I made the call to my agent. I told him, get me on a plane to Catalonia. Now, he came back with an offer from Real Madrid. But I thought to myself, there's too much bad blood between me and Real Madrid. So what better thing to do than create more bad blood by going to their biggest rival, having the chance to score on Real Madrid as Barcelona's number 10, wearing this iconic shirt worn by the best of the best, playing for this iconic club. Nothing could go wrong for Denis Karo as we head into match week 1, where we face off against Sevilla. And Ejuke on the ball, taking the ball, passing it over to Arteaga, and Arteaga cutting in and getting the ball ripped off him by Karo, who has become somewhat of a tackling master. And Sane cutting in, Karo on the ball now, cutting in on his left, having a shot and putting it into the back of the net. Barca has a new number 10, and he's out here scoring goals. And Karo immediately making an impact on his new team, giving Barca the 3 points in the first match of the season. And with that 3 points, we find ourselves in 8th place due to every other team seeming to win. And Barca face off against Osasuna in match week 2. And Kempembe would pass it to Sane, who found Vitor Roque, who found Karo, who found the back of the net in the first 26 minutes of the match. And Barca was flying high, courtesy of their newest signing. And Justin passing it to Lamine. And that's not our Lamine. Our Lamine's on the bench for some reason. I don't know what the hell Hansi Flick is thinking. But Vitor Roque passing it to Karo, who loses the ball, but Vitor Roque again passing it to Karo. And here's Karo cutting back. Rogers to Karo, who finds Vitor Roque, who smashes it into the back of the net. And Barca find themselves up 2-0. And Barca's flying high. And look at the team in unison. And as Berge passes it to Lamine. And Lamine cutting back, passing it to Reina, who smashes it into the back of the net. But it's unfortunately too late for Osasuna, as Barcelona come away with the victory and the all-important 3 puntos. And heading into match week 3, Barca face off against Atletico Madrid. And Karo passing it right to Leao. And Ponce passing it to Karo. Karo getting past 1, past 2, having a shot and putting it in the back of the net. And Karo making it 1-0 for Barca. A tremendous solo run by Karo as he kisses the pitch and gives it a little smooch. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And he points up to the heavens. And Ferguson and Enzo working with the ball. Barrios taking the ball, passing it to Kulusevski, who passes it right to Denis Karo. And Karo losing the ball, and it's Ferguson there to put the ball in the back of the net. And Atletico Madrid find themselves back in this match. And Karo with some defensive work, passing it to Morgan Rogers. Morgan Rogers finding Vitor Roque. Karo with a fake shot, and Colwell is there. And Vitor Roque with a very important sliding tackle, passing it to Karo, who smashes it into the back of the net and puts Barca up 2-1 in this match. And Hansi Flick is cooking. Barrios working with Leao. Leao with some techers. Passing it to Okafor. Okafor taking it down the touchline, crossing it in. Ferguson's there to put it into the back of the net, using his head. And with the match level at 2-2, things were getting tight in this match. And Ferguson losing the ball to Ponce, who finds Nilsson. Sane passing it to Vitor Roque, who passes it to Caro. Caro lobbing it to Morgan Rogers, who smashes it into the back of the net. Barca now up 3-2 against Atletico Madrid. And Morgan Rogers celebrating with his teammates as Barca collect another 3 points, bringing our total to 9 points and a record of 3 wins and 0 draws and 0 losses. And as we head into match week 4 of La Liga, we face off against Real Madrid in Caro's first ever El Clasico. And Kimpembe would lob the ball over to Caro in the 7th minute of the match. Caro now on the ball, passing it to Sane, and Sane cutting back with a brilliant pass to Caro. Caro getting past the defense, having a shot and putting it into the back of the net. And Barca taking a nice and early lead in El Clasico as Caro smashes the corner flag with his head, trying to give himself some CTE. And in the 33rd minute, Mbappe with a very important interception, passing it to Vinny, and Vinny smashing it into the back of the net while making Caro eat the dirt, as Vinny brings Real Madrid level in this match. And in the 65th minute, Vinny once again on the ball. He's having himself a wonderful game, cutting back, crossing it, and Brahim with a header off the post and off the back of Ter Stegen, bouncing into the back of the net. And what the hell is Ter Stegen doing? And we have one last chance in the match. Caro settling the ball, having a shot, and Courtois there with the save. And the net is still rattling from Caro's shot. That's how hard I shot it. But unfortunately, Caro loses his first ever El Clasico to Real Madrid. It's difficult finding myself on the losing end of El Clasico, but we must move on as we collect our first loss of the season. It's a very tough loss to take, I must admit. But nonetheless, we find ourselves remaining in 2nd place with a total of 9 points. We sit just 1 point behind league leaders Alaves. And heading into match week 5, Barca face off against Tenerife. And Nilsson passing it to Valle. And Kimpembe to Ponce. Alex Valle to Morgan Rogers, who finds Caro. Caro cutting back. Caro still on the ball, finding Vitor Roque. Vitor Roque threading it through to Denis Karo. Caro through on goal, having a shot and putting it into the back of the net with some finesse and a bit of gymnastics, and almost breaking his damn back. And Caro putting Barca up 1-0 nice and early. And in the 30th minute, Caro passing it to Sane. Sane back to Caro. Caro sending Sane through. And Leroy Sane cutting back, passing it to Caro, who does a beautiful turn and a left-footed shot like he's Messi, putting it into the back of the net, putting Barca up 2-0 in this match. And a very important goal by Caro. And Caro now finds himself looking to score a hat-trick. And Cantero passing it to Etienne, who has a shot, but Ter Stegen's there to collect. And now Caro on the ball, passing it to Vitor Roque. Vitor Roque able to find Pedri. And now Caro turning with the ball. Denis Karo on the ball still, challenging the defenders. None of them want to smoke. Caro getting past 2, having a shot and putting it into the back of the net. And just posing at the corner, letting the Barca fans know who the main guy is now, as Barca collect another 3 points to keep their spot at 2nd place in La Liga. Only 1 point behind Alaves, but I can feel the pressure for Alaves on their behalf, and they're not going to last very long. As we head into match week 1 of the Champions League, Caro has to serve a suspension for my accidental slip in the final last season. But nonetheless, Barca managed to collect a victory which gives us the 3 points, keeping us in 12th place in the Champions League. And as we head into match week 6 of La Liga, it was time for Caro to have an awkward reunion with his old team. And Evan Nilsson passing into Nico Williams, my former teammate, my former homie. And Nico Williams with a shot, and Nico Williams with a beautiful goal, showing Caro how it's done. And Royer taking the ball down the touchline, getting past the Barca defense with ease. And Evan Nilsson with a power header from how many yards out? Holy shit, what a beautiful goal. And we gotta check this man for steroids, because what the hell is that? That's harder than some people shoot in this game. And in the 79th minute, Caro's reunion with his former team was not going so well, as Nico Williams took the ball and manages to find Evan Nilsson, who puts Athletic Club up 3-0 against the mighty Barca. And we find ourselves down 3-0 in this match. Things are not going well, but nonetheless we continue. And Caro taking the ball. Caro still on the ball, cutting in with some beautiful technique and threading it through to Yildiz, and Yildiz has a shot and puts it into the back of the net. And surely we don't have time for a comeback, or do we? And Caro passing it to Yamal in the 89th minute, and Gruda passing it to Yamal, who finds Caro. Caro taking it to goal, and Caro passing it to Yildiz, who goes backwards for some reason, but Vitor Roque is there to smash it into the back of the net. But unfortunately, it is too little too late, as Barca collect another loss in the La Liga campaign, and we remain in 5th place. Heading into match week 7 of La Liga, we face off against Real Valladolid, and this match came to life in the 27th minute, as Caro was on the ball and passed it over to Sane, and Sane cut back to Koundé, who passed it back to Sane. Leroy Sane taking the ball down the touchline, finding Denis Karo. Caro able to cut in on his left, has a shot and puts it into the back of the net. And Caro scoring another goal and putting Barca up 1-0. And in the 75th minute, Caro just lurking around. Rogers heading the ball to Denis Karo, who pops up the ball. Caro still on the ball. Caro cutting back, putting his back to the net. Caro passing it back to Vitor Roque. Caro with a left-footed pass to Roque. Morgan Rogers with a shot. Caro on the rebound, has a shot and puts it into the back of the net and makes it 2-0 for Barcelona, as we collect another 3 points, which brings us up to 4th place in La Liga with a total of 15 points. And as we head into match week 8 of La Liga, Barca face off against Rayo Vallecano in a tough away fixture for us. Caro on the ball. Caro getting past 2 defenders with absolute ease, popping the ball up, somehow still on the ball, through on goal, has a shot and puts it into the back of the net. And Caro gives Barca an early lead in this match with a fantastic solo run. Valencia heading the ball to Caro, who settles it with his chest, takes a few touches, passes it to Koundé. Koundé cutting back, passing it to Caro. Caro through on goal in acres of space, has a shot and puts it into the back of the net. Caro on a goal scoring streak, settling into Barcelona and making sure his team is in the lead. Oscar Valentin passing it, but Caro's there with a brilliant tackle. Caro tackling it once again, getting the ball on a hat trick, and he completes the hat trick in tremendous fashion. Able to muscle through the midfield line, the defensive line, and eventually make his way through on goal, where he can ease it into the back of the net and ensure Barca collect another 3 points, which brings us up to 3rd place with a total of 18 points. Just 1 point behind Real Madrid and our former club, Athletic Bilbao. And as we head into the Champions League, League Phase Match 2, Barca face off against Bayer Leverkusen. And of course, this was going to be another intense match as Barca went down 1-0 in the 8th minute of the match. Gavi passing it back to Alex Valle. Karo now on the ball. Karo still on the ball. Denis Karo with a roulette on nobody, but he looks damn good doing it. Karo still on the ball, has a shot and brilliantly puts it into the back of the net and runs to the ball to collect it because Karo ain't done yet. Alex Valle passing it to Gavi. Vitor Roque finding Ponce. Vitor Roque passing it to Karo. Karo with some tackers, able to beat his man, and Karo is through on goal, has a shot, and he manages to score yet another goal. A goal-scoring machine, this man. And he's gonna go ahead and kiss the pitch that he graces with his presence. And Denis Karo once again on the score sheet. Wirtz passing it to Arnold. Karo showing some defensive prowess. Vitor Roque sending it through to Karo. Denis Karo taking a touch in. Taking a touch past the defender. And Denis Karo passing it to Vitor Roque, who scores a wonderful goal as Barca take a 3-1 lead against Bayer Leverkusen. And Barca managed to pick up another 3 points, which brings our tally up to 6 points and sees us in 4th place in the Champions League. And as we head into match week 9 of La Liga, Barcelona hosts Real Sociedad. And this match will of course be another intense match. And Karo taking a touch, passing it to Sane. Vitor Roque on the ball, passing it to Karo. Karo taking it through, getting past the defense with ease, having a shot on his left foot and just slotting it into the bottom left corner. And Karo is truly playing like he's Lionel Messi. And Bareni to Gonzalez. Bareni on the ball again. Passing it right to Ponce, who finds Koundé. And now Karo on the ball. Unable to beat Desirate. And Gonzalez passing it to Bras Mendes, who finds Bareni. Bareni with a back heel to Gonzalez. And now Gonzalez on the ball. Karo with a brilliant interception. And now Karo has acres of space down the right flank. Karo still on the ball, has a shot and smashes it into the back of the net. And Barca take a 2-0 lead in the 70th minute, courtesy of the main man, Denis Karo. And with that victory, Barca collect another 3 points, which sees our tally go up to 21 points. And we remain just 1 point behind Real Madrid. And heading into match week 10 of La Liga, CD Leganes hosts Barcelona. And in the 11th minute, Nilsson would head the ball to Vitor Roque, and Karo would send it through to Morgan Rogers, who brilliantly finessed it into the corner to put Barca up 1-0. And Karo on the ball once again. Karo able to find Vitor Roque somehow, some way. Vitor Roque with a big touch, and Vitor Roque through on goal. Vitor Roque with a finesse shot into the corner. And Barca's lead doubles, courtesy of Vitor Roque. A wonderful goal scored by the Barca striker. And Barca with a 2-0 lead. And Bergvall passing it, and Rogers getting it out of there. Koundé sending it through to Karo. Karo has one defender to beat. And Karo in a foot race with this defender, unable to beat him. Passing it to Rogers, who sends it through to Karo. And Karo with a brilliant run, able to have a shot but unable to score. Sane passing it to Karo. And Karo just teeing up and having a shot and smashing it into the back of the net with the outside of his right foot. And he had all the time in the world to ensure that Barca would collect another 3 points and another victory, bringing our total to 24 points, putting us in first place in La Liga with a record of 8 wins and 2 losses and 0 draws. And heading into match week 3 of the league phase in the Champions League, Barca face off against Dynamo Kiev, where Nilsson would get the interception and lay it off for Morgan Rogers. Karo able to get the ball. Karo with some skill moves. And Denis Karo on the ball, taking it past the defense. Karo through on goal, having a shot and unable to score, but scoring off his rebound. And I'm so happy I didn't miss that wide open net because I would have looked like an absolute clown. But nonetheless, Caro able to slot the rebound. A goal kick here for Barca. Ter Stegen passing it right to Koundé. Koundé finding Caro. Caro now passing it to Sané. Koundé to Caro. Caro to Sané. Sané down the touchline. Cutting back. Passing it to Vitor Roque, who passes to Caro, and Caro with a turn. Caro through on goal. Caro on his left foot, slotting it past the keeper. And doubling Barca's lead against Dynamo Kiev. And ensuring we collect the 3 points. Why the hell are they running through the advertising board? What the hell is going on here? Some witchcraft by Barcelona perhaps, but nonetheless, we find ourselves in 3rd place in the Champions League with a total of 9 points. And heading into match week 11 of La Liga, Barca face off against RCD Espanyol. And a tremendous free kick by Parsons put Barcelona down 1-0 early in this match. And Belen would pass to Martin. And Semenyo would take it down the right flank. And Semenyo lobbing it over. And it's Omar to collect it. And Amoni passing it right to Valencia, who passes it to Ponce. And now Vitor Roque finding Caro, who's able to send it through to Morgan Rogers. And Morgan Rogers with some techers, able to find Caro with a brilliant pass. Caro cutting in, getting through on goal and having a shot and putting it into the back of the net. And Barca back in this match courtesy of Caro and Morgan Rogers. A brilliant goal scored by the team. And Maghoma able to get past Caro and pass it to Carrera. And Gavi with an interception. And Gavi finding Caro. Caro taking it down the touchline. And Caro cutting in, passing it to Vitor Roque, who lays it off for Gruda. And Gruda with a shot. And Gruda finding himself on the score sheet as Barca take a 2-1 lead. And Hansi Flick is one happy German as Barca take a 2-1 lead. And manage to collect another 3 points in La Liga, which brings our point tally up to 27 points, with a record of 9 wins, 0 draws, and 2 losses. And heading into match week 12 of La Liga, we face off against Valencia. And in the 23rd minute, Johnson would cross it in to nobody. And Nonto's there to keep it in. And Fofana now passing it to Doucouré, and Doucouré having a shot, and Ter Stegen's there to collect. And Ter Stegen throwing the ball to Nilsson, who passed it to Caro. Caro with some skills, Caro displaying some techers, and Belocion stopping Caro in his tracks, but Vitor Roque is there with the interception, passing it to Caro. Caro cutting in on his right and having a shot and smashing it into the bins, and missing a wide open net after the fact. And Ars with a big goal kick. Sané heading it down to Caro. Caro settling the ball, passing it to Rogers. Morgan Rogers on the ball now, passing it back to Alex Valle, who finds Caro. Denis Karo taking a touch, cutting back with some skill moves. Losing the ball, Johnson passing it to Nilsson. And now Ponce to Sané. Ponce again to Caro. Caro brilliantly getting past the defense, having a shot and smashing it into the bins. And Caro settling the ball with his chest, cutting back. Caro on the ball once again, brilliantly passing it to Vitor Roque, who sends it through to Caro, and Caro having a shot with the outside of his right boot, brilliantly putting it into the back of the net, and making sure that Barca collect another 3 points in the La Liga campaign, ensuring that we remain in first place with a total of 30 points and a record of 10 wins and 2 losses. And as I was out shopping for some drip, I got a text from Hansi Flick. And this text quite literally stopped me in my tracks because I did not know what the hell he was talking about. The text read, "Caro, call me when you can. I have a plan for you that I would like to get your thoughts on." And I was wondering what the hell was Hansi Flick talking about. But we're gonna have to wait for the next episode to figure out what the hell he was talking about. This mad German scientist has a plan for Denis Karo, and we're gonna get to the bottom of it. Caro is now a Barcelona player, and we find ourselves in first place in La Liga after 12 matches played with a total of 30 points and a record of 10 wins, 0 draws, and 2 losses. And taking a look at our Champions League performance, we find ourselves in third place after 3 matches played with a total of 9 points and a perfect record of 3 wins, 0 draws, and 0 losses. And taking a look at what's coming up in the next episode, you can see we have more intense football in La Liga and in the Champions League. And that is where we're gonna end today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. This has been Dennis from Climbing Wall Gaming. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.